So welcome to week 2 of the linear regression module series. In this week we're going to cover more of the mechanics underlying linear models, the sorts of math equations that are underneath it. Not because we expect you to work with the math equations or derive any of this yourself or be able to calculate it yourself for any particular application, but because the math tells you a little bit about how you are able to interpret the model. So we're going to talk about the R-squared value, which is the proportion of variance explained. And understanding why it's called the proportion of variance explained, how the formula leads into that definition, and what the formula doesn't mean, in particular things like the formula assumes that you have linearity, formulas assume things are normal. All of these formulas that underlie our linear models inform you about how you are able to interpret the parameters. And so we're going to talk a lot about that. We're going to touch on a lot of math. Don't worry too much about the math. As long as you have some sort of software that will calculate linear models for you, you will be able to avoid the vast majority of calculations. There might be some putting things in a calculator if you so desired, but we do expect you to fit things through your own software. I personally use R and Python. I've never used SPSS, Stata, SAS. I use SAS a little bit, but no, that's not important. There are many different programs that will calculate linear models for you, many calculators. The TI-83 will do it, but also the cheap brands of calculators will calculate linear models. We're trying to keep this platform agnostic, so whatever your supervisor uses or whatever your professor uses, you are kind of on your own to just familiarize yourself with fitting linear models with that software. And then the data that we have is available in the resources site on OWL. You will be able to go through and look at the data and use it in the software of your choice, and then you can go in and double check our model results, make sure we're not doing anything sneaky. We're trying to be very clear about which models we've actually fit and exactly what parameters go into each model, what predictors we're using, what covariates. So you should be able to reproduce all of the things you see in these lessons, and if you can do that, you basically know how to fit linear models, and you can follow along that way. This will be especially helpful with some of the assessments that we have for you, especially we do expect you to fit your own model to your own data set or data that we provide as part of the lab report, and so this is a great week to verify all of the numbers you see on the slides. We're using birth weight data. It is available. I think there's a link posted, hopefully in the page that it should be. I'm going to double check that right as soon as I stop recording this video. But I digress. This week is about the mechanics of linear regression. Where do these formulas come from? Why do they matter? What do they tell us about our data?